Hello guys, how are you all? Hope you all are fine and doing great. Myself Dr. Prashant Agrawal, MBBS MD Psychiatry. I am a clinical psychiatrist practicing in Durg, Chhattisgarh, as well as I am national level faculty of psychiatry in various PG coaching institutes of India. Today I am going to discuss the questions of psychiatry which are asked in your JIPMER June 2020 exam. All the questions are recall based. If there is any similarity in these questions with the actual question, it is just a coincidence. So let us start our discussion. First question: a patient complained of having recent memory loss. A patient complained of having a recent memory loss and unable to remember things. On testing his recent memory in interview, he answered events of last 24 hours, but later on were found to be imaginary. But later on it is found to be imaginary. Means his answer of last 24 hours were all imaginary. This phenomena is known as thought insertion, confabulation, derailment, or flight of ideas. So let us see all the options one by one. Thought insertion. Thought insertion is one of the first rank symptom of Kurt Snyder. First rank symptom seen in schizophrenia described by Kurt Snyder, and its meaning is some external agency is inserting thoughts in my mind. Some external agency some external agency is inserting or putting thoughts in my mind. That is known as thought insertion. That is known as thought insertion. So here there is no sentence or line is mentioned that some external agency is inserting thoughts in one's mind or patient's mind. So this is not our correct answer. Let us see option number C. Derailment. We know what is derailment. Derailment is also known as loosening of association. Loosening of association between the thoughts. It is a disorder of form of thought. It is a disorder of form of thought. Means in loosening of association, what it means? Words make sentence, but sentence does not make any sense. For example, let us take a normal form of thought. Suppose this is a normal form of thought that I am a doctor. I am a doctor of medicine. This is the normal thought. In loosening of association, this thought will become like this: am medicine of I a doctor. Means words are wrongly attached with each other to make a sentence. So words are making a sentence: am medicine of I a doctor, but this sentence is not making any sense. So this is a loosening of association between the thought, which is also known as derailment. So again, nothing is mentioned like this in the question. So again, this is not our answer. What is flight of ideas? Flight of ideas is also known as racing of thoughts. means thoughts are coming very fastly in one's mind. Thoughts are coming very fastly in one's mind, one after another. Means there is a shift, rapid shift of ideas, one after another. Means suppose if I am thinking in a normal speed, I am a doctor of medicine, faculty of psychiatry, teach in PG Med Easy. If I am having flight of ideas, these thought becomes like this. I am a doctor of I'm a doctor of medicine, faculty of psychiatry, teaching DNA. I am a faculty means there is rapid shift of ideas, that is racing of thoughts in one's mind. So again, nothing is mentioned like that. So again, this is not our correct answer. So our correct answer is confabulation. As it is mentioned in this question that patient has answered events of last 24 hours, but these events means the answer given by the patients were found imaginary. So what patient is doing? Patient is filling his memory gaps. Patient is filling his memory gaps with false information. There is a definite memory loss in amnesia, in any type of amnesia or dementia. What is amnesia? Amnesia means when there is only memory impairment. In amnesia, there is a recent memory impairment. Initially, there is recent memory impairment, means impairment of memory for recent events which happened today, yesterday, means up to 1 week. The events which has happened or occurred in last 1 week, that are those are known as recent events. So there is impairment of recent memory in amnesia. In amnesia, so patient is having amnesia, memory impairment of recent events. So patient is giving some imaginary answers because he is not able to recall the actual events. Those are happened yesterday. Those are happened yesterday or in last 24 hours. So what patient is doing? He is involuntarily filling those memory gaps with false information. Filling those memory gaps with false information. This behavior is known as confabulation. This behavior is known as confabulation. So our answer is option number B, confabulation. Question number 2. A patient of mania was started on lithium therapy. Patient was started on lithium therapy. Means this is an acute episode of mania. If somebody who is started on lithium therapy, उसको लिथियम आपने शुरू की है, इसका मतलब है कि ही और शी इज इन एक्यूट एपिसोड ऑफ मेनिया. आफ्टर 1 week there was partial improvement in symptoms. Serum lithium level was done and serum lithium level was 0.5 milliequivalent per liter. What will be the next best step? So according to question, what we have understood, that patient is having acute episode of mania for which psychiatrist has started lithium. We all know lithium has a narrow therapeutic index, means it is not effective below a certain blood concentration level and it causes toxicity above a certain blood concentration level. So lithium has a narrow therapeutic index. . and it is a lithium is a mood stabilizer. Lithium is a mood stabilizer. We all know that. So what is the uh, lithium plasma or blood level requires in case of acute mania and in maintenance phase of bipolar disorder? So blood lithium levels required in acute mania, blood lithium level which is required in acute mania is 0.8 to 1.2 milli equivalent per liter. In maintenance phase, in maintenance phase, blood lithium level required is 0.4 to 0.8 milli equivalent per liter. And after starting lithium, we check lithium levels. We do blood lithium or serum lithium level. We do serum lithium level examination 5 to 7 days after starting lithium, and blood sample is withdrawn, 12 hours after last dose of lithium. After 5 to 7 days, lithium reaches a steady state plasma concentration level, and we do serum lithium level examination after 5 to 7 days, and blood is withdrawn 12 hours after last dose of lithium. Let us go back to our question and see the options. So blood patient of mania was started on lithium, and 1 week later lithium level was done, which came around 0.5 milli equivalent per liter. So let us see our option. Prepare and plant dialysis. Okay, means they are asking that patient has a lithium concentration above toxic level. So means patient can develop lithium toxicity at this level. So no, this is wrong answer, because we know that lithium toxicity is developed if the level goes above 1.5 milli equivalent per liter. Patient develops lithium toxicity if the lithium level goes above 1.5 milli equivalent per liter. And we know the range we have just discussed for acute mania, 0.8 to 1.2. So here the level is 0.5 only, so there is no issue of toxicity. So no, A is not the correct answer. Add second drug to lithium. We add second drug to lithium if patient reaches the desired lithium serum lithium level, and patient still has the symptoms of mania. So here patient has not reached, means the blood level of lithium has not reached the actual serum lithium level which is required in case of acute mania. So again there is no use of adding second drug. Maintain same dose and monitor. No, we had, or we need to increase the dose. So correct answer here is option number D, increase the dose of lithium, because the lithium is below the effective serum concentration level which is required in acute mania. So increase the dose of lithium. So correct answer is option number D. Okay. Again, this is very easy question. Dose of diazepam required for alcohol withdrawal. Okay. So according to AIMS guideline, dose of diazepam required for alcohol required in alcohol de-addiction or in alcohol withdrawal is 40 to 80 milligram 40 to 80 milligram if the patient is taking Indian made foreign liquor. 40 to 80 milligram if the patient is taking Indian made foreign liquor, and 30 milligram, approximately 30 milligram if the patient is taking country made liquor, यानी कि देसी दारू. Dose of diazepam if the patient is taking English alcohol, अंग्रेजी दारू लेते हैं, भारत में बनने वाली विदेशी दारू, इंडियन मेड फॉरेन लिकर, देन डोज फॉर मैनेजमेंट ऑफ अल्कोहल विड्रॉल इज बिटवीन 40 to 80 milligram. And if the patient is taking country made liquor, मतलब कि देशी दारू, then the dose of diazepam is 30 milligram. 40 to 80 milligram per day. Dose is 40 milligram per day and 30 milligram per day in 2 to 3 divided doses. Dose of chlordiazepoxide which is the drug of choice for management of alcohol withdrawal is around 80 to 200 milligram per day. 80 to 200 milligram per day. This is the approximate calculation. If the patient is taking one bottle or 750 ml of Indian made foreign liquor, he or she will be detoxified with 40 to 80 milligram of diazepam. If the person is taking one bottle or 750 ml of country made liquor, he or she will be detoxified with 30 milligram of diazepam. Drug of choice for alcohol de-addiction is chlordiazepoxide, and dose of chlordiazepoxide for management of alcohol withdrawal is around 80 to 200 milligram per day. This is an approximate dose. And no upper limit is there. The dose or upper limit or maximum dose is not there for delirium tremens. We can go even for higher doses. There is no upper limit for delirium tremens. Okay, so let us go back to our question. So dose of diazepam required for alcohol withdrawal, 5 to 10 no, 15 to 20 no, 40 to 80 yes, 80 to 200 no. This is the dose of chlordiazepoxide, not diazepam. So correct answer here is option number C, 40 to 80 milligrams per day. This is again very easy question. Speedball is a combination of. Correct answer is, this is the straightforward question. इसमें हमें सोचने की बिल्कुल जरूरत ही नहीं है, इसका सीधा सीधा आंसर है cocaine plus heroin, combination of or mixture of cocaine and heroin forms speedball, forms speedball. So correct answer is option A, cocaine and heroin. Okay, this is again a very easy question. A married female schizophrenia patient is on antipsychotic treatment. Couples means the patient and her husband seeks for genetic counseling and want to know the chance or risk of schizophrenia in their child. So let us understand with our family tree. This is mother, this is father. Daughter. So we know that if one parent is suffering from schizophrenia, if one parent is suffering from schizophrenia, risk of schizophrenia in their children is around 12 to 15%. Around 12 to 15%. If both the parents are suffering, as means schizophrenia, if both the parents, mother as well as father, is suffering from schizophrenia, then risk of schizophrenia in their children is around 40%. Around 40%. Risk of schizophrenia in monozygotic twins. Risk of schizophrenia in monozygotic twins of a schizophrenic patient. If one parent is suffering from schizophrenia, risk of schizophrenia in monozygotic twins of schizophrenic patient is 47 to 50%. The risk of schizophrenia is 47 to 50%. If both the parents, risk of schizophrenia in their children is 40%. If single parent, risk is 12 to 15%. Okay, let us go back to the question. A married female schizophrenia patient is on antipsychotic and couple want to know that what is the risk of schizophrenia in their children. 60 to 80%? No. 15 to 40%? Okay, we will see that. 5 to 10%? No. 0 to 1%? No. So correct answer is 15 to 40%. Yes. We have just read, if one parent is suffering from schizophrenia, risk is around 12 to 15%, and if both the parents, 40%. So only one option we find here which ranges between 15 to 40. One parent, both parents. So correct answer is option number B, 15 to 40%. Again, this is very good question, and this is, I think this is a new question, a type of new question. Which of the following statement is false about narcolepsy? Let us see what is narcolepsy first. Narcolepsy, also known as sleep attack, also known as sleep attack. There are two types of narcolepsy. Narcolepsy type 1 and narcolepsy type 2. Narcolepsy type 1 and narcolepsy type 2. Narcolepsy type 1 is also known as narcolepsy with cataplexy. Narcolepsy with cataplexy, and type 2 is also known as narcolepsy narcolepsy without cataplexy. This is the older name. These are the older names of narcolepsy, but now in ICD-11 they are again using this type of classification for narcolepsy type 1, type 2 and unspecified. Type 1, type 2 and unspecified type of narcolepsy. So narcolepsy when seen with cataplexy, it is known as type 1 narcolepsy, and when narcolepsy is seen without cataplexy, it is known as type 2. What is cataplexy? Cataplexy is sudden loss of muscle tone. Sudden loss of muscle tone at or during heightened emotional response. Means when the patient is laughing excessively, there is jaw drop, there is jaw drop, there is knee bending, there is knee bending. At the heightened emotional response, there is sudden loss of muscle tone, that is known as cataplexy. Other features of narcolepsy are other features of narcolepsy are the most common symptom. The most common symptom of narcolepsy is excessive daytime sleepiness. Excessive daytime sleepiness means patient has sleep attacks during daytime. This is the most common symptom of narcolepsy. Plus other features are cataplexy, hypnagogic and hypnopompic. Hypnagogic and hypnopompic hallucinations. Hypnagogic and hypnopompic hallucinations. And there is insomnia. Patient find difficulty in starting or maintaining sleep in the night. Patient find difficulty in initiating or maintaining sleep in the night. Cause of type 1 narcolepsy is decreased hypocretin, also known as orexin hormone. So deficiency of hypocretin is the cause of type 1 narcolepsy. Cause of type 2 is unknown. It may be type 2 may occur because of hypocretin, because of trauma to hypothalamus, because because of head injury. After head injury, if there is a trauma to hypothalamus, it can lead to type 2 narcolepsy. So reason, exact reason or cause is unknown. Drug of choice, drug of choice for narcolepsy is very good. Modafinil. We all know modafinil is alpha 1 agonist, central alpha 1 agonist, which keeps the patient alert, which keeps the patient alert. So modafinil is the drug of choice for narcolepsy. Now let us go back. Now let us go back to our question. Which of the following statement is false about narcolepsy? Orexin deficiency, yes. They have asked about narcolepsy, not type 1 and type 2. So yes, orexin deficiency is the cause of narcolepsy. Type 2 narcolepsy is associated with cataplexy. No, we have just discussed that type 2 narcolepsy means narcolepsy without cataplexy. Narcolepsy without cataplexy. So this is the false statement. Option number C, type 2 narcolepsy is associated with trauma. Yes, the reason is unknown. As I already told you, it can be due to trauma to hypothalamus. Patient can develop type 2 narcolepsy. It can be due to decreased orexin. So exact reason for type 2 is not known. So yes, this is the correct answer, option. Type 1 narcolepsy has hypnopompic and hypnagogic hallucinations. Both type of narcolepsy has hypnagogic and hypnopompic hallucinations. Means there is vivid experience or vivid dream like experience when person is falling in sleep, that is known as hypnagogic, and when person is waking up from sleep, that is known as hypnopompic. So yes, it is the right answer. So false statement for narcolepsy is option number 2 or option number B, that type 2 narcolepsy is associated with cataplexy. No, type 2 is not associated with cataplexy. So these are the questions of JIPMER which I have received from the students. If I will receive other questions, more questions, I will discuss that later on. So thank you. All the best for your future exams.